Shalom, shalom. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. Check in, family. This is going to be as painless as possible. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. Okay. So, I got 3 lives to do today. Okay. 3 lives. Okay, family. 3 lives. I'm going to say that again. I got 3 lives to do today. So, I'm going to try to make this one as painless as possible. Good morning. Shalom to everyone. All praises to the Most High for another day, a beautiful day. Even though it's a little cloudy over here, it's still another beautiful day to be alive. Okay. Shalom, family. Shalom. So, this video, because last night I went live, shared some things, and some people didn't understand. Some people didn't understand, and that's our people, Israel. We will, some things we will understand, some things we won't understand. And I understand we're trying to wake up as a people, so no ill will, no disrespect to anyone. We're all free to believe what we want to believe in our quest and our seeking. So I say that with all humbleness. This is no disrespect to anyone, but I'm going to do my best to share and break down and make sense, because there's a lot of confusion in Israel on many different topics. And this one in particular about this new moon situation, okay? Because people, on my comments, and they're saying, oh, it's the crescent of the moon, and it's this and it's that. So I decided to put this little comprehensive live together for you guys, just to make some common sense out of things. However, you are free and welcome to believe and live your life as you choose. As you choose. Okay, so today this morning I'm gonna be dealing with dark moon versus bright full moon and the signs. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as painless as possible and as comprehensive as possible, because people are saying the full moon is basically when the moon is at its darkest. Okay, now bear with me, family. So we're gonna deal with this. I'm gonna show a comparison, okay, with dark moon versus a full bright moon, okay? And we're gonna see, because the Most High said, these things would be for a sign. Thank you, Franklin, for that support, family. I appreciate that, brother. Okay, appreciate that, family. So we're gonna deal with this, okay? We're going to deal with this dark moon versus bright moon and the signs, right? The signs, because everything is a sign, right? That's like, if somebody, let's just say a car, you're in your car. Let's say you're in your car and you're trying to signal to somebody, right? Usually when people driving and they're trying to signal to somebody to either turn the headlights on or whatever it is, they're going to show their brightest light. They're going to show the brightest light, right? Because that's going to get their attention. If they see a bright light, they're not going to show a dim light or a dark light. They're going to turn on their high beams to signal to that person like, yo, put your lights on, or yo, you didn't do this or you didn't do that. They're going to show their brightest light or their best performance. That's just in anything, whether it be in your actions, you're going to put on your best behavior. You're going to be the brightest you can be for a sign, right? These are just simple, common sense things, right? Like I said, with a car, you're going to have on the brightest light, right? You're not going to show a dim light, right? You're not going to show a dim light is something to be a sign, right? But there are signs in everything. So we're going to bring it out. We're going to bring it out because, we are in a lot of confusion and certain things don't make sense. So yesterday, let me just go here. Just go to the, bring this out again. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. I'm going to bring this out. Yes, what I did yesterday. so we can comprehend fully, and then we're going to go into some scriptures. Okay, so where is my thing at? Where is my hopefully I didn't remove it. If not, I will add it back. Okay, here it goes, right here. And okay, why is it dark? Why is it dark? Why is it dark? You know what? I'm gonna delete this one and bring in a new one. Y'all bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second, y'all. Okay, let me add this screen capture real quick. So we're gonna put this on, and let me just minimize this so you guys can actually see it, because I see that it was not showing. So yesterday I was bringing out about the moon signs and so forth and so on, and which is connecting with Passover. Now, people are saying the full dark moon is basically the sign of the new moon, basically full moon. And the funny thing is, how could full blackness or in dark be a sign for something that's going to be great, right? And I'm going to show you in the scripture as well. Okay, the moon being fully dark. How are we doing anything in the dark? Number one, how is that a sign? This is going to be a sign that in the darkness of the moon, this is going to be the beginning of months. Wouldn't it be when the moon is full and bright? Wouldn't that be a sign? Right? The Father said, you know, the lights in the sky will be for signs. Right? So how is it in the full darkness a sign? What is that for? I'm going to bring these things out, okay? Dark moon versus bright moon. So this was the discrepancy that people are not understanding. But I'm going to bring the scriptures out to show dark moon signs and the bright moon, of course. Okay? So now let's get into scripture here. We're going to bring it to some scriptures here. Okay? Bring it to some scriptures here. Make some sense. And yes, please pay attention, family, because some people don't understand this. They're saying, oh, when it's the crescent, that's going to be the beginning. When it's a crescent, when the light, it's common sense. Something's going to be a sign. It's going to be bright. The Most High is going to make it bright. The Most High is not. Let's see how the Most High works. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. So let's start here with the dark side, the darkness of the moon, okay? So what is the sign of a dark moon? What is the sign of a dark moon? Let's go here. Okay, sign of a dark moon. We're bringing it out right here. Okay, so we can get this understanding. Okay, Joel chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. Okay, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark. Okay, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Okay, and the Most High shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? So we see, based on the signs of the sun and the moon, as we see the moon being dark, we can understand that this is going to be a terrible day. This is going to be a terrible day. This is the sign. Okay, that's the sign right there. Because as I brought out, let me bring this out again here. We're going to go here again just to bring this out. Again, Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay, so the lights in the sky are for signs and for seasons, for days and for years. Jump down to verse 16. And God made two great lights. Two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, which would be the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. Okay? He made the stars also. So we see the lesser light would be the moon to rule the night. Okay? So we see these are for signs. Now, going back, okay, to the dark sign of this moon, the moon being darkened, we can see that this is a terrible time. This is going to be a terrible time when the moon gets dark. Okay? When the moon gets dark, it's going to be a terrible time. It's going to be a terrible time, family, as we see based on the scripture. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 3, for the day is near, even the day of the Most High is near. A cloudy day, it shall be the time of the heathen, end times. Okay, this cloudy, dark day is going to be the time of the heathen. So we can understand the signs from the moon is going to be dark, and this is going to be a terrible time, basically. All right, but let's keep going with this dark moon. Okay, the sign that we're getting from this. Let's go back to Joel chapter 3, verse 14 to 15. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Most High is near in the valley of decision. Okay, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. Okay, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. Okay, dark moon, the signs. Okay, this is the time of the Most High. Okay, the day of the Most High. Okay, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. Okay, this is not a good sign. Okay, family, this is not a good sign. And the moon is going to be fully dark. Okay, it's not a good sign. This is not, like I said, anything that we do in life, especially if we're trying to show a sign. Okay, if you're trying to show a sign of something, especially for something great like a Passover or a feast day, it should be bright, right? It should be bright. We need the light. It's not like we had houses and stuff like we have today where you could just turn the lights on. A lot of us, we live by nature. Okay, we needed that bright light. The Most High was going to show us anything. We needed that bright light, especially in these particular days. Okay, so when we're dealing with the darkening of the moon, this is not a good sign here. Okay, it's not a good sign. Just making that comparison, family. It's going to be the time of the heathen, end time. Okay, the moon being dark. All right, so we can get this full comprehension here, because people in my comment section seem not to understand it. They saying if the new moon, which is starting a new month, is going to be the darkness of the moon, the darkness of it. Okay, which it doesn't make any sense. Okay, if this is going to be a sign to us for something that's going to be actually new. Okay, but let's finish dealing with this. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 7 and 8. And when I shall put you out, I will cover the heaven. Okay, I will cover the heaven and make the stars thereof dark. Okay, when I put you out. Okay, this is not good. It's not a good sign. Okay, I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. Again, the lights in the heaven shall be for signs. And as we see, this is not something that is a good thing. Okay, this is not something that should be celebrated. Okay, the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over you. Okay, all the lights will I make dark over you, and set darkness upon thy land, saith the Most High God. So as we see this darkening of the moon, this sign, it's not something good, family. Shalom, family. Check in, hit that like button, family. Check in if you're in the building. Okay, check in if you're in the building, family. Okay, check in if you're in the building. All right, you're trying to get this wisdom and knowledge. So again, if we see the darkness of the moon, this is not a bright sign. This is not something good that we should be celebrating. Okay, or starting something new, or a sign for something new, as far as being something great, something good. Okay, just making common sense, family, making common sense. Let's get it again though. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9 and 10. Okay, behold, the day of the Most High cometh, is cruel, cruel day, both with wrath and fierce anger. So this is again time of the Most High judgment, to lay the land desolate, the smackdown, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So we got to get right, family. For the stars of heaven, okay, the stars that gives us these signs, and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. They shall not give their light on this dark day. This is a sign of judgment, okay, something that's not good that's coming, okay. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine, okay, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine, okay. Again, this is the darkness of the moon, family. The darkness of the moon versus the brightness of the moon. Okay, so we see what we've been reading. The darkening of the moon is not something that's going to be good in a sense. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. When we're keeping feast days, these are something that is a good sign. As we see, the darkness of the moon is a bad sign. So if this is going to be the beginning of our feast day, that's not a good sign, family. Just common sense. Just common sense, man. Just common sense. However, you can agree to disagree, and that's what it will be, but I'm going to make some sense out of this. Okay? Okay, so we see right here, okay, the moon shall not give her light. Okay, this is a bad day. It's going to be a bad day. Okay, based on this sign that we're getting. Okay, for signs and for seasons. So we know when the Most High darkens the moon, it's going to be basically ass kicking time. This is ass kicking time. This is beat your brakes off. Okay, our enemies is going to get beat down when the lights go out. Okay, like they say, oh, don't let the lights go out. Hit the lights. You know how they supposedly do in jail. Hit the lights, man. When they hit the lights, what happens when the lights go out? The drama is on. And people getting snuffed, hit, stabbed, kicked. Come on, man. I'm from Brooklyn. I know what time it is, family. Lights go out, it's the problem. It's not a good sign, family. Oh my gosh. Come on. Lights go out, it's not a good sign, okay? It's not a good sign, family. I'm just saying. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Jumping down to verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So we see again this darkening of the moon is going to be the punishment, judgment. Okay, lights out. Turn them lights out. It's on. Nobody can see nothing. It's, you know, y'all know what it is, family. This is just natural stuff, the natural understanding of certain things, family. Okay, this is just the natural order of things that people naturally do. We know lights go out, you know, we ready to hit somebody. Not saying this is something that we should do, but we know how it is when the drama is on, when the beef is on. Okay, lights go out, people getting hit, snuffed, stabbed, robbed. You know, bad things happen in the dark, family, when lights go out. Okay? So we can understand that. So if we're having if our feast day, which is supposed to be a joyful day, is going to be starting in the darkness of the moon, we can't really see what's going on. How is that a sign for us? Okay? How is that a good sign for us? But anyways, let's get it. Let's keep going. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, while the evil days come not. The evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened. Okay, be not darkened. So we see when the evil days come, okay, the sun and the moon, these things are going to be darkened. Okay, nor the clouds return after them. So we see this is not, again, once again, the sign of the moon being darkened is going to be a sign of evil days. Okay, again, it's just an example of signs in the heavens. Okay, signs in the heavens, family. This is all I'm showing. Okay, the dark side. Okay, this is the dark side of the moon. I know I'm bugging, but that's me. Anyways, Amos chapter 8, verse 9 and 10. Shalom, family. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Check in if you're in the building, family. Check in if you're in the building. Okay, 33 of y'all in here. Okay, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Most High God, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day, and I will turn your feast into mourning. Interesting. I will turn your feast into mourning. So again, this darkening situation, feast being into mourning. So clearly, this wouldn't be a good feast if it's being darkened, right? It wouldn't be the sign or a good sign of a good feast, right? Because this is a feast in the morning when it's darkened. And all your songs into lamentations, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Okay, the feast, we talking about the feast. I know, right? Where's Mr. Dummy at? Okay, so again, we see if your feast is in mourning, then it's a dark day, family. It's a dark day. It's not if it was a good feast, if the feast is a happy feast, it's gonna be bright. It's gonna be bright. Okay, and that moon is definitely gonna be bright. It definitely should be a sign of a bright day. Okay, but we're gonna get there. Isaiah 24, verse 21 to 23. And it shall come to pass in that day, okay, shall come to pass in that day that the Most High shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high. Okay, you're a Freemason, Freemasonry devils. Okay, and the kings of the earth upon earth. Okay, so we see this is judgment coming. Okay, judgment coming. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Most High of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. Okay, so again, these signs dealing with the moon being confounded, is not going to be bright. It's not going to be bright. Okay, in this terrible situation here for these people. It's not going to be a good sign, basically. Okay? It's not going to be a good sign, basically. All right? Let's keep going, though. Now, check this out. Check this out. Peep this right here with Job. Peep this. This is pretty interesting with Job. Okay? This is dealing with his birthday, I believe. Job chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day, his birthday. Okay, because of course we don't celebrate birthdays and stuff for that matter. Job's children was actually killed for this thing. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born. So Job is cursing this day. And the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Okay? So he's cursing this day that he was born. Let's continue reading what he's saying about this particular day and what should happen during this day that he's cursing. Okay? It cursed. Jump down to 4 and 5. Let that day be darkness. Let that day be darkness. Okay? It's a sign. Let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. So he's cursing his day, and he's talking about, let darkness and the shadow of death stain this day where he was basically born, okay, as a sign, okay, as a sign. Let's jump down 6 and 7. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. He's like, don't even let it be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Okay? Look, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Okay? Interesting. Let's jump down to verse 8 and 9. Let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to rise up their morning. Let the stars, signs in the heavens, let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Okay, let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day. Okay, again, let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Okay, let it look for light, but have none. Okay, so again, we see Job cursing his day. And when it comes to the constellations, the stars, he's talking about let it be dark. Okay, so in this particular day, that which would be his birthday, he's like, let it be dark. The sun, the moon, all of that, let it be dark. It's not a good sign, basically, if you're cursing a day. Okay, so the darkening of the moon is not a good sign. It's not a good sign, okay? But let's get one more scripture on this. The funny thing is, okay, even the New Testament, with all this deception and all this plagiarism, I'm going to show you a verse here that even with the New Testament stealing stuff, it knew to steal something that was connected to truth, which it does. So watch this. Even with the New Testament, check this out. This verse here. Let's go to this verse here. Where is it at? Yeah. Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, okay, these horrible times, okay, these horrible days, okay, tribulation, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. So again, signs in the heavens, okay, during this tribulation, supposed tribulation time, which we already read about the heathens, there's going to be definitely tribulation for them, okay, the moon shall not give her light, okay. Yes, I'm dealing with the darkness of the moon. So this lesson, we're dealing with the darkness, the dark moon versus the bright moon. So far, we're in the darkness of the moon so far. That's what we're dealing with right now. Then we're going to deal with the brightness, okay? So as we see, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So even with the deceptive plagiarism I've exposed so much with the New Testament, as we see, they even took this understanding, okay, and they even understood this sign here to even use that, okay, because they, as I showed from the OT, as we shown, the darkness was not a good sign, family. The darkness was not a good sign. Okay? It was not a good sign. So that is the darkness of the moon and the signs that come from that. That's what we're dealing with, family. So now we're going to deal again with the brightness of the moon. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this as comprehensive as I can, family. As comprehensive as I can. Because people say, oh, we got a lot of people that's, some people that is doing it on that's saying, the darkness, the full darkness of the moon is basically the new moon, and that's when things shall begin. And it's not making sense, family. It's not making sense at all. Okay? So now we're going to deal with the bright moon, the full moon, the brightness of the moon, and why this would make sense to be the beginning of a feast, a good sign, right? Why would this be a good sign to us, right? The darkness of the moon, you can't see anything. It's dark. It's dark. How is that a good sign for us? I'm just talking common sense, family. I'm just talking common sense. Like I said, you don't have to believe anything that I'm doing, that I'm showing, that I'm presenting. Everyone is a free man, a free person. You can believe what you want. You can live your life what you want. I'm just trying to make understanding for my people. Okay. So when people come in my inboxes sharing or in the comment section, sharing things that just it don't make sense to me, family. It don't make sense. Okay. So again, how is the darkness of the moon a great sign for a great feast day? When we have seen, okay, the darkening of the moon was not a good sign. And we know the lights in the heavens shall be for signs. Okay? So when people say, "Oh, it's this when it's the crescent, it's the little crescent, that's going to be the start when it's, with a little crescent, a little light." So you mean to tell me the sign of our great feast is going to be when it's just at a little tiny crescent? It's not going to be when it's fully bright? I mean, that doesn't really make sense, family. When you at a party, you don't turn the lights dim. We turning the lights bright. I mean, it depends on what kind of party you have. Some people have dark parties, wicked parties. So I don't know. These days, with these youngins, I don't know. But we want the lights up. Okay? We want to see things. Number one, it wasn't no lights back then. We didn't have lights back. We weren't flicking on lights back then. Okay? Exactly, family. Crescent moon has little biblical support. So when people are sharing certain things, if you're going to share something with me and you are trying to correct me, please go in. Go in. Okay? And I am willing to hear you out. I'm willing to listen because I'm always willing to learn. But if you're going to say something that really doesn't have any biblical support like that, it's just not, and it's not making sense to me, I'm sorry, my brother or my sister. It's not making sense to me. And you can choose at that point to hate me or whatever. We could choose to just disagree. Okay, like I said, we are all free to live our lives and do as we please. Okay, I don't control you, and you damn sure don't control me. Okay, so I just want to just put that out there. So we're gonna get into this bright side of things. Okay, like I was bringing out the other day, which just makes sense to me. Okay, this full moon here, bright moon, and why this would make more sense. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna start at. Okay, so again, we understand signs, the lights in the sky are for signs and for seasons. Okay, so lights in the firmament. Okay, the lights shall be for signs and for seasons. Okay, signs and for seasons. So let's start here. Let's go here again. Let's get this again, family. That's a big fact, family. Big fact. A lot of people talking crazy barely finished the European school. So and it's sad to say. It's sad to say. It's sad to say, but that's just what it is. That's why a lot of people be yelling out, Esau is a white man. It doesn't make sense even in academia, even in school. That concept of Esau being a white man doesn't even make sense even in the European understanding. They don't even believe that nonsense, that garbage. The white man does not believe that he is Esau unless he's been brainwashed by people that are saying that over and over. The white man does not proclaim to be an Edomite unless he's been brainwashed by foolishness. Okay? But anyways, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So we're going to start here dealing with this brightness now. Again, Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 12. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon at the full. Okay, the moon at the full. Now, when something is at its full, right? Let's take this water for example. Let's take this water for example. We see this is not at the full, family. This is not at the full. This is at, like 10%. If it was at the full, it would be all the way up here. If it was at the full. So when we're talking about the moon or moon phases, we can easily look up moon phases. You'll see moon phases. Okay, if the moon is at its full, it should be fully bright, because if it's just all fully dark, it's not full. Full of what? It's not full. Unless you're saying full of darkness, and we know darkening of the moon, that is not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Okay? It's not a good sign, family. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, family. Okay? So, we're going to jump down to verse 13. All right? Hearken unto me, ye holy children, and bud forth. Bud forth, okay, the growing of the plants, okay, bud forth as a rose growing by the brook of the field, okay? For I am filled as the moon at the full. Moon at the full, okay? Let's jump down here. Verse 16. All the works of the Most High are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. Due season. Due season is a key word. Okay. Moon at the full. Moon at the full. And due season. We understand the lights in the sky are for signs and for seasons. Okay. The lights in the sky are for signs and for seasons. Okay. Moon at the full. Okay. He commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. It's key words. Key words, family. Key words. Jumping down to verse 21. A man need not to say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. The Most High has made all things for their uses. It doesn't matter what it is. Swine, crab, all these things are for their uses, okay? Like the Most High said, the lights in the sky shall be for signs and for seasons, okay? He hath made all things for their uses, okay? So best believe the Most High is using the moon. The moon is definitely something to be used, okay? It's for signs and for seasons, okay? Let's move down. Let's go here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 50. And 1, bringing this back out again so we can get some understanding here. Okay, moon at the full, due season. All right, Simon the high priest, the son of Onias, who in his life repaired the house again. He repaired the house again, okay, and in his day fortified the temple. So he did something good. He did something good. So now the comparison, when you jump down to 6 through 8, dealing with the comparison of what he did, this great thing of what he did. Okay, it says he was as the morning star in the midst of the cloud. He was bright from what he did. Okay, he was bright as the morning star and as the moon at the full. He was as the moon at the full, meaning he was bright. He was as the morning star, as the moon at the full. He did something great. This was a sign. Again, a sign. This is why it's being used here as a metaphor. Okay, he was as the morning star, something that's bright, as the moon at the full, which would be something bright based off of what he did, repairing the temple. Okay, as the sun shining upon the temple of the Most High, and as the rainbow giving light in the bright clouds, and as the flower of roses in the spring of the year. In the spring of the year. Okay, budding forth, as I showed in Ecclesiasticus chapter 39. Budding forth, okay? Let me go back to that. Okay. Hearken unto me, ye holy children, and bud forth as a rose growing in the brook of the field. Okay. So, as we see, he was bright as the morning star, okay? And as the moon at the full, basically he was bright. Full moon, he was bright, okay? He was bright. And as the flower of roses in the spring of the year. And that's what we're dealing with. This is a season that we're coming upon, okay? Moon at the full, the springtime, okay? These are signs as lilies by the rivers of water and as the branches of the frankincense tree in the time of summer. Okay, so we see moon at the full, he was bright. He was bright. He was bright. Jump down to verse 11. When he put on the robe of honor and was clothed with the perfection of glory. So we see moon, he was as bright as the morning star, okay? As the moon at the full, being bright, okay, and was clothed with the perfection of glory. Perfection. These are key words, okay? Moon at the full, he was bright as the morning star, and the perfection of glory. When he went up to the holy altar, he made the garment of holiness honorable. Okay, so these are all little key metaphors and words being used to help us understand this whole concept of the moon and it being bright at the full. It's a good thing. It's a good sign. It's a good sign to be full and bright. Okay? If it wasn't, it would say dark moon, it was darkened and all of that. Okay? Let's keep going. Job 31:26. If I beheld the sun when it shined or the moon walking in brightness. Okay? Moon walking in brightness. Okay? Brightness of the moon. Moon walking in brightness. Okay, let's go here. Baruch chapter 6, verse 60. Again, I'm bringing this out again so we get some understanding. All right. For sun, moon, and stars being bright, not half moons. Not half moons. Okay, being bright. Being bright. A half moon is not bright, family. Is a half moon bright, family? If a half moon is not bright, it's a half moon. It's not a bright moon. Okay? Being bright and sent to do their office are obedient. They're going to do their job. So as we see, the moon being bright, they have a job to do, sent to do their offices. So if the moon is bright, okay, that's when it's doing its job, sent to do its office. Okay? Sent to do its office, because it's going to be what? A sign. A sign. So being full, being bright, is going to be a sign for something. It's going to be a sign. Sent to do their office. It's not, the Most High is not going to give us a dark moon and say, hey guys, this is going to be the beginning of your new moon and the beginning of your feast at the darkening of the moon. That does not make sense to me. Especially if this is something that's supposed to be good and glorious and happy and joyful. Being dark is not going to be something good. The Most High is not going to give us a sign and say, yeah, the brightness of the darkness of the moon is when you guys should be happy and singing for joy and praising my name. That don't make sense. It's going to be when it's bright, the brightness of the moon, a sign. It's really that simple, family. But some people, you know, they're just not going to get it. And hey, I'm not mad at you, okay, if you're not going to understand. Again, let's go here. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 45 to 46. Upon the 4th day thou commandest that the sun should shine and the moon give her light and the stars should be in order, and gave them a charge to do service upon man that was to be made. So we see the moon did give her light for a service, for a job. So again, if the Most High is going to give the moon for a sign to do service unto us, it's going to be a bright light, family. The Most High is going to make it bright. It's going to be full. It's not going to be a dark light. It's not going to be, like I said, you're trying to send a message to somebody. Okay, if you're trying to send a message, or you in your car, you're going to turn on your high beams. You're going to turn on your high beams like, hey, it's going to be bright. You're not going to be like that, and you're trying to send somebody a message. You're trying to get their attention. It's going to be bright. Like, yo, Ew. So again, the moon gonna give her light. The moon gonna give her light, okay, and gave them a charge to do this service. So when they're doing a service, when they're performing a service, when the light of the moon is performing their service, it's gonna be bright. The moon being bright, sent to do their office. Like you in your office and you turn the lights on because you want to do your job. You're not going to do your job in the dark. You're not going to do your job in the dark. I can't do my live stream in the dark. You're not going to see me. It's not going to make sense, family. I'm just saying, man. Certain things are common sense, man. Most things, I'm gonna just say that. Most things are common sense. Most things. So again, the sun shall shine and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order, and gave them a charge to do service. So if it's gonna be doing service, it's not gonna be halfway. It's not gonna be half. It's gonna be bright, especially if it's the beginning of something. It's gonna be bright, family. It's going to be full and it's going to be bright. Okay? Full and bright. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 14. And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, okay? And for the precious things put forth by the moon. Again, what are the precious things put forth by the moon? Feast days. The feast days, our feast days, okay, are the precious things put forth by the moon. And when we're doing these things at the beginning of it, they're going to be bright. The moon being bright and sent to do their offices, their job. Okay, lights in the sky for signs and for seasons, family. Signs and for seasons. So again, this same concept, family. This same concept. Okay, same concept. The precious things put forth by the moon. Precious things, okay? Certain things are common sense, family. Psalms 81, verse 3. Blow the trumpet in the new moon. It's going to be bright in this new moon, I'll tell you that. So we have it as a sign. It ain't going to be darkened. When we understand that that ain't a good sign. In the time appointed on our solemn feast day, new moon, which would be new month, okay? Psalms 104:19. I didn't bring this out. Exactly, brother, exactly. He appointed the moon for seasons. Again, lights in the sky for signs and for seasons. And we understand if it's going to do its job in its office, it's going to be bright. Okay? The sun north is going down. Okay? He appointed the moon for seasons. Okay, again. Okay, now this, again, is the killer right here. This is the killer. Some people have trouble understanding, but this scripture here is really common sense for us. Really common sense, family. Excuse me. Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, verse 6 and 7. We got to read this with full comprehension skills, family. Put on our thinking caps. Okay, like we in 5th grade. Okay, let's put on our thinking caps like we in 5th grade for this one. Okay. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons. Okay, he made the moon, okay, also to serve in her seasons. Okay, he appointed the moon for seasons. He appointed the moon for seasons. Okay, blow the trumpet in the new moon. In that time appointed on our solemn feast days. Seasons, okay. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons for a declaration of times. Okay, the appointed feast times. Okay, and a sign of the world from the moon is the sign of feast. The moon is a sign of feast. So again, if the Most High is giving us a sign, it's going to be bright, especially for a feast day that's supposed to be of something joyful. It's not going to be the darkness of the moon, and that's when it's going to begin. Again, that doesn't make sense. As we read, darkening of the moon is a beat down sign. That's a sign where it's going down, family. bad things are happening. It's not good things like feast days and things that we should be joyful and happy about. Okay? Okay, from the moon is the sign of feast. Now this is the key. This last bit right here. A light right there. A light. Number one, it's a light. A light. It didn't say it was going to be darkness. Did it say it was going to be darkness? It didn't say it was going to be darkness. The moon shall serve in her season. This new moon is going to be a light, number one. That's number one. It's not going to be darkness. It's going to be a light, meaning it's going to be a sign, family. Now, here's the key. That decreaseth in her perfection. Okay? Decreaseth in her perfection. So if we wanted to word it a different way, okay, when the light is going to start to go down after it's perfected. Okay, the light starts to get dim after its perfection. Because again, like I said, like I showed earlier, okay, the guy, matter of fact, let me bring the scripture out, okay, in his perfection. I brought it out with the priest. He was in his perfection. Let me go back to the priest when he was in his perfection, right? Let's go here, okay? Simon the high priest, okay, he had repaired the house again. He did something great, right? And it said, okay, he shined, he was as the morning star. He was bright as the moon at the full. It was bright, okay? It was bright. It was bright, it was bright, it was bright, okay? Let me see. And then it said, when he put on the robe of honor and was clothed with the perfection of glory. He was at his perfection. He was at its best. He was at his best. Perfection of glory. He was bright as the moon at its full, and he was in his perfection of glory. So if we go back now, if we go back to this feast day, okay, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. A light that decreaseth in her perfection. So if something's at its perfection, it's going to be at its full. Number one, it's going to start at its full. At its full moon. It's going to start at its full. When it starts to decrease, that's when it goes down. And when you look at the moon phases or phases of the moon, okay, it doesn't start going backwards. It doesn't start going backwards. Okay, it's full. Then it's gonna go fully black. Then it's gonna show little crescents and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, but as we see from the scripture here, a light that decreaseth, it's going down in her perfection. It's already a light. If it's at a light, it's at its perfection. A light is going to be at its perfection. It's going to be full perfection. When it's decreasing in her perfection, it's going to be decreasing when it's full. Start to decrease when it's full. Okay? This is what we have to understand. We got to understand that. Okay, Jeremiah 31, verse 35. Thus saith the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon. The ordinance of the moon, family. It has an ordinance, a pattern. Okay? It's going to be what? The full moon being fully bright. Fully bright. Fully bright. Then it'll go dark. Then it'll start to get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. Okay, once it gets to its full, then it goes dark. Then it starts to get light again, light again, light again. Okay? So these are the things that we have to understand, family. But let me get this last verse here. Okay? Ecclesiasticus chapter 43 and 8. The month is called after her name. Okay? New moon, month, moon, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. So, we have to understand, if the Most High has given us a sign for a new moon, It's going to be bright. It's going to be at its perfection. It's not going to be a dark moon, a full dark moon, and that's going to be the beginning of a new moon. Okay, yeah, the Gentiles, they may start their thing on that, but that's not what the understanding is from the scriptures, family. Okay, that's not the understanding. Okay, so they say, oh, it's the full moon. Let's go back to this. Let me go back to this thing I was showing here. Okay, so again, they say this is the new moon. They say this is the new moon. This is what they're saying when it's all black. Okay, but from scripture we understand being at its perfection, being a light, is going to be full. It's going to be full. Okay, he was as bright as the morning star, as the moon at its full. Okay, the perfection of glory. Perfection of glory is going to be full. It's not going to be dark. The full moon is not going to be something that's fully dark. Okay, to be a full moon, and this is going to be a sign for us. Just out of common sense, family. Okay, just out of common sense. But some people will think that, oh well, the new moon is going to be fully dark. You can't see nothing. Can't see now. How is this a sign for something good? The beginning of something good. Okay, darkening of the moon, as we saw in the scripture. Okay, it's not something as a sign for something good. Just out of common sense. But the moon being full and bright is going to be full. It's going to be bright to do its service, right? As we showed, the moon being bright, and it would make sense for the whole thing to be bright. It makes sense. Not the Father's not going to give you a moon and show a little crescent and going to say this is going to be the beginning of your new moon when it's like fully dark, like 90% dark, and there's only a little bit of light. That's how it works. Who going to work at their office and turning on a dim light? Like, yo, can you brighten the light here, please? I need to see what I'm doing. Okay, the Most High is not going to do that. Okay, the Most High is not going to do that. The Most High is going to give you the full moon being bright, so the moon can do its service. It is a sign. It is for seasons, so it's going to start with it being bright, so you can understand. It's really that simple, family. That's as best as I can explain it. I hope y'all get it, and if you don't, hey, listen, it's your life. You can believe and do what you want. You know, there's people that still believing in JC. Okay, so hey, no hard feelings, family. No hard feelings, family. Yep. So I'll be going live. I'll be doing 3 different lives. Support the kid. Support the kid. It's a lot of work, family. It's a lot of work. So support if you can. Support if you can. Join an online school. All right. So I just wanted to put this live together for people to understand, okay, the difference between the dark moon versus the bright moon and why these things would make sense. Again, once again, this is no disrespect to anyone, but if you're going to be trying to teach me anything, please go in. And there's no scriptural support for it being starting on a crescent moon or a half moon or whatever. Okay, these things make sense to me, a lot of sense, common sense. But again, if you don't understand, if it's too complex, hey, listen, we can agree to disagree, family. We can agree to disagree. So yeah, I'll be going live 3 times today. I'm going to be dealing with the new moon in another few hours. I'll be dealing with the new moon now, the new moon feast. And then later on tonight, we will be having a party. Well, we're going to be 2 parties because we're having the new moon situation. And then we're going to be dealing with wisdom versus Jesus later on tonight. Okay, the barbecue session. We got the barbecue session going on later tonight. All right. So, and yeah, I'm gonna be dealing with that. I'm gonna be dealing with that, family, as far as feasts are concerned, of course, with the full understanding, we know we cannot do the feast according to the law as far as making the burnt offerings and stuff of that matter. We understand that these things cannot happen right now, but we can hold these things in remembrance of the Father because it's going to be reinstated. Okay, so we must rehearse these things and understand these are the holidays that we must remember, not Easter and Christmas and New Year's. These are the things that we must have in remembrance and share with our children and with our people. These are the things that must be recognized by the Father, to give credit and glory to the Father. Okay, these are the things. Okay, so once again, we cannot do the acts according to the law because we have there's no Levites and other things. Okay, so I break those things down too, but we will have these in remembrance. We will speak about it. We will pray to the Father about it. We will make a remembrance of what we once had and what we once did, so we can understand this is who we are. Okay, and what we've been doing is not who we are. That's the slave mind of who we were. All right, so I'm gonna jump off here, family. I'm gonna jump off here, and I'll be back in a little bit, and then I'll be back again. Okay, so join the online school, support the channel if you can. All right, thank you, Big Franklin. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that, man. All right, so I hope this was edifying. Again, no disrespect to anyone, okay, because I want the understanding as well, and I'm going to go for the understanding. I'm going to go hard to seek the understanding, and I like things that kind of make sense for me. Okay, so certain things don't make sense. I don't agree with it, family. And again, you are welcome to believe and feel how you feel. It's just not for me. Okay, and we can respect each other like that. And I respect you and you respect me. And that's just that, family. And all peace and humbleness. All right, so on this note, I'm going to say peace and shalom. I love y'all. I will be back with more work. Peace. And yes, I'm working on the calendar.